I think we have everybody in, so we will call this meeting to order. Roll call has been taken electronically. This meeting of the Ripon Area School District Board of Education has been properly noticed in accordance with the open meeting law and state statute 19.84 and related legal references. Our district vision, one of Wisconsin's finest school districts, fostering excellence for all through innovation. And this is one of my favorite meetings. We get to meet everybody that we hired. So, who's up first?
I'm Mary Whitrock, superintendent here in Ripon, and I am so excited to be able to introduce our new principal at Barlow Park and Journey Charles Elementary School. Mr. Sean Garsky came and joined us just on August 10th, and it's been just a flurry ever since. But I'll just read to you a little bit about his background and some of the comments from his references because they were glowing. So, Mr. Garsky was a second grade teacher in Hortonville Area School District, a position he held for 10 years, and prior to that he was a primary teacher at Carl Traeger Elementary School for 14 years. He comes to us with lots of experience with professional learning communities, being members of different committees, and being on the leadership team as well as site council. He is an undergraduate in elementary education with a minor in mathematics from the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh, and has a master's in leadership from the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. And references described him as having a heart for kids, especially for students who struggle. He's known as being professional and dedicated, and is definitely a relationship builder, and we are seeing all of those things as you just get started here in the district. We're so very pleased to have you with us. So thank you for joining us. We're going to put you right to work.
Yeah, nice. I'm Garsky, principal at Barlow Park and Journey Private Schools. First I have Jennifer Cardinal. Jen comes to our district as the newest reading interventionist. She received her bachelor's from Marian College and her master's from UW-La Crosse. She has 18 years of experience teaching kindergarten in New London for 12 years, and most recently teaching first grade in Oshkosh for the last 6. We're looking forward to seeing the positive impact that she will have on our young readers. Jen. Next I have Emily Davis. Emily has come on board as our new kindergarten teacher at Barlow Park Charter. She's a graduate of University of Wisconsin-Stout. This will be Emily's 3rd year in education. She worked for 6 months in the Eau Claire Area School District as an interventionist after graduation. Most recently, Emily worked in Fond du Lac School District as a kindergarten teacher. She's going to be a great addition to our team. Welcome, Emily. Next up is Tanner Drews. Tanner comes to us as a new graduate from UW-Platteville. His hometown is just down the road in Green Lake. He enjoys anything and everything outdoors. In addition to being certified as a Phi-Ed teacher, Tanner is also certified in health. We're excited to have him as our physical education teacher at Barlow Park and Journey Project Schools. Next up is Elizabeth Gatsky. Elizabeth is currently attending UW-Oshkosh to finish up her elementary education degree. She was previously a classroom lead teacher at Jefferson Elementary in Oshkosh. She's also worked as a substitute summer school teacher in Neenah this past summer. We're looking forward to Elizabeth bringing her energy and enthusiasm to Ripon. And then I have Carolyn Reddington. Carolyn is our newest addition to the Journey 4K team. Carolyn comes to us with 21 years of experience. She's a graduate of UW-Oshkosh. Previous stops on her professional journey have been in Green Lake, and most recently teaching 4K in Berlin for the past 14 years. We can't wait to have her work with our youngest learners. And then finally we have Veronica Varkutsis. I practiced that all day.
Well done.
Veronica will be our newest addition to the first grade team at Journey Project School this year. She's a graduate of UW-La Crosse for her bachelor's and Viterbo University for her master's. She comes to us from New London School District with 21 years of knowledge and experience, the majority of that being in first grade. We're sure she has lots to offer her new team. Brian.
Okay. Welcome, our little team. Welcome to all of you for joining our district. We're excited to have you with us. I am going to start with McKenna Glover. McKenna is officially on with us full-time this year as a fourth grade teacher at Murray Park. After doing her student teaching last fall with us in third grade, and then taking a third grade teaching placement that opened up in our district second semester. She just slid right through, but we're so excited to have you on board full-time this year, McKenna. Not only happy to have you full-time, but also happy to fulfill your childhood dream of being a teacher. Play in the basement, right? So, anyway, welcome aboard, McKenna. Jamie Thomas is not with us this evening, but she is our new physical education teacher. Jamie comes to us with 8 years of teaching experience. Most recently, she's been teaching special education at North High School in Oshkosh. Jamie did her student teaching and physical education though back here in Ripon at the high school, and kind of launching into her full-time position of working. Jamie originally had started again with that Phi-Ed teaching focus before adding on her cross-categorical special education teaching license. We're excited to have Jamie's teaching career come full circle as she returns to Ripon. So excited to have her here. She's with her children tonight. So. And then I would like to welcome Sarah Sauter. Sarah Sauter is going to be one of our reading interventionists this year. Sarah has been teaching for the past 4 years. Most recently, she taught second and third grade reading in Vail Mountain School in Colorado, and she taught third grade in Berlin prior to that. Education is Sarah's second career as she started in the business world before going back to school to earn her master's degree from Marion. So appreciating that you just took that leap of faith, Sarah. We're happy that Sarah is moving back to her home region and really excited to work with our team in supporting our students as well. So welcome aboard, Sarah.
All right, at the middle school, we had one teacher replaced. That was Jake Stolick, who's going to be taking over for physical education. He couldn't make it this evening. So Jake actually taught with us for 3 years, and then he took a position last year at North Fond du Lac, and he said he couldn't stand being away from me, so he came back. He's back for this next year. We're happy to have him back. He graduated from Oshkosh, I think, about 4 years ago, and he currently lives in Athens, so we're happy to have him back. So, thank you.
Sorry, middle school.
I'm sorry.
So I am excited to introduce Nicole Mashak. Nicole will be our new behavior interventionist at Ripon Middle School. She has a bachelor's in business and marketing education from UW Stout and a master's in educational technology from Marion University, as well as a certification in regular education from UW Oshkosh. She has been an educator and instructional coach for 18 years at the middle and high school levels. Previously White Lake, Fond du Lac, and then most recently in Winneconne. Highlights of her professional career include establishing STEM Institute, a charter school in Fond du Lac, 6th through 12th grade instructional coaching for things like differentiation, social emotional learning, and then co-developing a district equity learning team. She's coached teachers on things like classroom management, co-teaching, evaluating learning targets, and active learning strategies. And Nicole has spent the last year working as the Director of First Educational Resources at the ASL Center. In this role, she designs and leads customized professional development for school districts around things like building relationships and classroom communities, navigating and supporting student behaviors, as well as student mental health and executive functioning. We are beyond thrilled that Nicole has chosen Ripon for this next portion of her professional career.
Okay. All right. I have the pleasure of introducing Yolanda Meinke. Yolanda will be supporting our EL students and families at the high school level. Yolanda had earned a Bachelor of Science degree in biology, actually, from the Texas Women's University. Yolanda's experience as a substitute teacher in our district, along with her community involvement, prompted us to actually reach out to her about this EL position. Yolanda believes in making strong connections with students and families and helping them to understand their full potential. Building strong relations is a strength that was noted by the interview committee and her references. Yolanda has 2 children, Maria and Matt. Actually, you have 3, but Maria and Matt, who graduated from RHS, and we are fortunate that Yolanda will be returning to RESD as our newest member of our EL team. Welcome, Yolanda.
I'm going to introduce Nicole Schubert. Nicole is our newest member to Ripon High School Special Education team. She earned a bachelor's degree from Western New England University. She has 2 master's degrees, one from the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh, a Master of Science in Education, as well as Masters of Arts in Education, Educational Leadership from Marian University. She has taught in Rosendale, Waupun, and North Fond du Lac school districts. She has served as an instructional coach in the Fond du Lac School District, and she has served in administrative roles in both Green Bay and most recently her position in Plymouth School District in Plymouth, Indiana. She is moving back to her hometown of Rosendale and has moved with her 3 children, and her husband will be joining them shortly. We welcome you to Ripon High School.
Thank you.
Bill Kinzinger, principal at the high school. And I didn't quite get the memo as to how in-depth this has to be, so mine's going to be brief. I will start with Carissa Coleman. All right, Carissa is coming to us from Horicon. She has lived in Ripon for 3 years and has been in education for 6 years. Carissa is here also with her husband, and welcome, Carissa. Maybe Devin. And he is coming to us off of sabbatical. This is her 12th year in education, but she spent the last year in an RV traveling around the United States. And she realized that she really missed the classroom. So she went by her sister down in Jacksonville, inner city Jacksonville, Florida, and worked with those kids as a long-term sub since January. And we are so glad to have Mandy as our art teacher.
Oh, neat.
Sam Pitcher. Sam comes to us from Platteville. He graduated as a jackrabbit from South Dakota State University. Sam was hired effectively the 8th of June and immediately took a bunch of kids right down to, what was it called?
State convention?
State convention. He has spent over 100 hours already this summer with our kids. He jumped right in. We're happy to have him. He has had 2 years at Platteville. Comes from good stock. His father was an FFA teacher as well in Wrightstown.
Still is.
Huh?
Still is.
Still is. Still is. He's got a strong background. Welcome, Sam.
All right, I have the pleasure of introducing one more addition to our pupil service team. Carrie McCarthy is going to be our new district social worker. Carrie has a bachelor's in behavioral science and law and political science from UW-Madison and earned her master's in school social work from the University of Illinois at Chicago. Throughout her professional career, she has worn many hats: social worker, family and communication partnership coordinator, grant project director, communication specialist, you name it, Carrie has done it. But all of those different hats have all centered on her love for working and advocating with students and their families. Carrie comes to us with several years of experience as a school social worker, and her background and skill set ranges from coaching teachers and helping curb negative classroom behaviors, implementing large systematic change, including supporting the implementation of an equitable multi-level systems of support, and working directly with vulnerable student and family populations to ensure access to resources and programming. Carrie also has unique perspective and experiences with educational policy and leadership. I have had the good fortune of knowing Carrie for almost a decade, and I am unapologetically grateful that we were able to steal her from my hometown, Berlin. So I'm just going to avoid it for a little bit because they are not happy. So we are very excited. Welcome, Carrie.
So on behalf of the school board, I welcome you all. You are perfectly welcome to stay here, but you have an early start tomorrow, so with the exception of Sean, you're all free to leave anytime.
That would be so embarrassing.
I was remiss if I didn't give a shout out to our administrative team because they work with their staffs to really find amazing talent. So appreciate them for all the work that you did over the summer. It was very busy summer. Thank you.
All right, we have no written comments and no one signed up to speak, so if there is no request to adjust the agenda, we will adopt it as presented. Anything? All right. Which takes us to announcements of contributions to the district.
We do have a number of contributions that we're so thankful for. Silver Creek Dentistry made the fourth $4,000 installment of a $20,000 pledge to Eagles Field Group. Pinnacle Plumbing made the fourth $2,000 installment of a $10,000 pledge to the Ingalls Field Group. And Northern Express Bus Service made the first of a $1,000 installment for a $3,000 pledge for Ingalls Field Group. Salzwedel has donated $300, and that's a donation through the Ripon High School Golf Program. Alex and Jessica Hargrave donated musical Tembo playground equipment with a retail value of $8,000 to the Barlow Park Journey Playground, and I actually had a chance to see that this weekend. It is very impressive and lots of fun. And St. Catherine of Siena congregation donated just under $1,000 for school lunch accounts that were unpaid. So again, thankful for all of that community support to put us in a great place to start this school year.
Thank you. That takes us to two special presentations. First of all was the BRAVE program annual report.
Thank you for having us
Tonight. BRAVE is my passion in the district, so I'm always excited to talk about the BRAVE program. Eliza couldn't be here tonight, but I'll carry on and we'll share a little bit about it. This is the second year that the BRAVE program has implemented Camp BRAVE, and we have some slides in a few minutes to show you some of the things that we did. We averaged probably 83 to 90 children a time, and it ran pretty smoothly. We started doing a lot of field trips. We started taking the children out and about, and if we stayed, we did, like one time we did bowling, we did different things, and the children loved it, and it was nice to have the support staff. Everyone worked the days that they needed to work, and we look forward to this year doing different field trips. We are doing a couple of the same things because they were so popular, but we were planning to go somewhere else a couple times this year. One of the things that we'd like to do this year and will be doing is going to the University of Green Bay. They have set up a program for us for the whole day. So we will be taking the children up there. They will be providing lunch. They will be providing the program all day long, and we'll be moving in groups, and we'll just be under their care for the day. So we're excited to see how that pans out. We've never done anything like that before, but they're excited as much as we are excited to have them come aboard with us and be a partner with us this year. So otherwise, in the Brave, Brave provided 457 students in this district with programming this year. That also was like, there were 16,145 students that walked through the door for some kind of programming. Some came every day. One of the facts that I think is very interesting with this is 4 years ago when we got the grant, we started the morning program. We had one student who came every day in the bus. You know, he was there, he was the only student, had 3 staff to us, so we didn't know how many students were coming. Now we're at the point that we have 38 to 39 students a morning. And about 20 of them come from Murray Park and the rest are in Barlow. So now we do have our staff busy every morning doing some kind of programming, and we plan for the kids. They start at 6:45, where a student can come at 6:45, and then Murray Park leaves to go to Murray Park, and then Barlow we release about 10 to 8, 5 to 8 to go to their classrooms. So that has really grown. It showed that there was a need, it just needed to get out there, and people needed to find out about it. We even, this last year was the first time that we went to 6:45 instead of 7, because we realized there were parents that needed to be work at 7 in Ripon, and they just needed to drop their children off. Other things that we've had, as shown in Barlow Park, 56% of the total school population participated in Brave. With the grant, we offer a lot of academics. We do homework help with the second graders. Kindergarten and first usually do not have homework except for reading, but we put in literacy and math twice a week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, one night is a literacy night, one is a math night, literacy, math. And then as the children will tell you as they come, Friday is fun Friday. We just do games and we have fun on Fridays. We also have all of our enrichment classes. We've been fortunate to have yoga come in. We may do a month on weather. At Murray Park, they do their enrichment classes, crafts. Dodgeball is quite popular. There's all these programs, and you'll find you have an agenda list of all the different programs that we've done over the year, over this year. Also, the grant required us, has a requirement of family nights. So at Barlow, we've had 5 family nights last year. We had a craft, we had yoga, we had a math type Lego night where they could build with parents, and this is all family nights. All the parents are invited to come along, and we average probably 35 or 40 people in each evening. So really, for so many things pulling our families, we kind of consider that a win. And it gives some of the people that aren't involved in sports something to do too with their kids. So as you know, this is the last year of our grant. It's 5 years, but we'll be reapplying for the grant, hopefully to get it again. And with that, it helps us to have Barlow Park running as free for the students, and Murray Park there's a minimal fee for the classes, but homework help is still free at Murray Park for those that need it. We've done some hiring this summer too. We had to hire a new coordinator at Murray Park and a new coordinator at Barlow, so we've done our hiring too. But we're always looking, if I had one thing that is hard for us is staffing. It's hard to have people wanting to work after school. Those hours right before supper are hard to get people. We rely quite a bit on the college. We rely on the high school, but we also would like to have some adults, and we are welcoming anyone if they only want to work 1 night a week to help with the classes, and that we would train them on how to do it. In conclusion, we have dedicated staff returning next year and this coming year now, and we'll be hiring more people that we can. We'll be continuing on with Camp Brave. We're excited. This is a brainstorm of Mary's, and she happily brought it to us, and we hope we've implemented it well in the last 2 years, hoping to provide for those parents when you do have your staff professional days. And there's been some bumps in the road because we don't know what the weather's going to be like or whether people will call in at last minute, but overall it has been a lot of fun. And we'll end with, we have a a little bit, a few slides that we can explain what was on it.
Yeah, and the slide show was so large that it didn't attach.
Oh,
So I think what I'll have to do is
That's fine.
share it with the board through the weekly update, if that's okay. And then I can try to break it down maybe into 2 separate files and attach it here so that it's available
I'll
for
tell
parents to
that
be
to
able
Liza.
to look.
She
Okay.
did too much with it.
It's fantastic. I thought I had it uploaded, but I think it was too big.
So to end my presentation tonight, I just want to say how appreciative I am to the board for actually, giving us the money to do this. Part of it comes out of the Fund 80, and I really appreciate that you stand behind it and that you have for many years been behind it. So thank you very much.
Anybody have any questions for Nancy? After a letter escape necessarily, that fast.
Yeah, I would, and while you're thinking, if you have a question, I would say that, Nancy gave me a shout out, but really, it comes from all of us when we have conversations, and this really started out making the shift in our calendar from our late start Wednesdays to having that Friday off each month. And the cautioning care of thinking about what does that mean for families and needing to have a full day of care, and that with receiving the grant, it allowed us to do some programming, and I think we were all really sensitive about a parent having to tell their child, you get to go back to school today for daycare when your friends get to stay home and maybe be with their families and go on a fun adventure. And so we started to talk about what might be some fun adventures that we can offer that would feel just as wonderful for the kids whose parents are working, and the parents can feel really good about the experience. But just for those who haven't had a chance to open up and look at the agenda, Nancy and Liza have put together such a wonderful list of opportunities for students, and parents still can sign up for some of those throughout the year. But they're going to the Discovery Center, the Farm Wisconsin Discovery Center in Manitowoc, Mulberry Lane Farm in Hilbert, the Cave of the Mounds. In January and February, they stay closer to home just because we don't know what's gonna happen with weather, to do activities like bowling. A magician comes in, their science workshop. Through our science club here at the high school, that comes down and works with our younger students, so it's a great mentoring opportunity, as well as the cheer camp coming down for the younger students. There's an adventure they take to Oshkosh, to the YMCA, to swim and ice skate, play basketball and soccer, and then end with the Henry Dyla Zoo. So thank you to your team for being willing to pull together to make that happen. It is kind of unique, because when we take young children on field trips, they're usually going with their classroom teacher and a group of parents for that supervision. But often we're pairing staff with students, and prior to being a part of these trips, they get to know each other through the year, but they need to get to know each other and build that relationship as they meet in the morning and on the bus.
And those are all the places we went last year. This year we have switched up a little bit. We're gonna go to the new zoo instead of down to Filos. Gonna go to Heritage Hill, and like I said, to the Green Bay, and then add in some of the bowling and the YMCA. Those are very popular there. And we also have the pleasure in the Camp Brave to offer it to the parents. You can come along. You don't have to drive yourself, but if you have a younger child and they want to come along with their children that day, we welcome that also.
So thank you for making that come together for the benefit of the students and parents.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we have a presentation on the Bible learning experience.
Where would you like our large group to go? Bring some chairs
Slide up
up,
to the
get
front.
comfortable.
You don't have to stand, so yeah, drag some
Grab
chairs
some
up.
chairs, slide up.
Do you want just to do one this
No, that's okay. You can send the slideshow, that would be great.
We go down and do our introduction before.
I can start. I'm Leanne Schmoody. I teach second grade at Barlow Creek Charter.
I'm Heidi Hopp, and I teach first grade. I'm Christy Day, and I teach kindergarten. I'm Taylor Weeks, I teach second grade. Rachel Mitch, I teach second grade. Sally Nomeski, I teach first grade.
Carissa Hop, kindergarten. Christian Jackson, first grade. Tammy Fox, I'm the literacy coach at Borough Park and Journey.
And then we also have a couple members of our governance council here tonight as well, who were on the trip with us.
There's 4 of us here.
Yes.
Jean Ripon, I have been on the Barlow Park Charter Governance Council since its inception, so for the last 4 years.
Hi, I'm Kathy Shire. I've been on the Governance Council for about a year, and I'm also a parent.
And I'm Katie Grady. I just recently took over the chair position for the Park Charter, and I've also been on this for a year.
Jason Caulfield, I'm entering my 3rd year on Governance Council.
So we are super excited to have the opportunity for our team to be able to share with you a little bit about our immersion experience in Linfield Learning Village in Australia, which this team was part of back in June. It seems like forever ago, but really it was not. It's been a really, really busy summer. So we're going to let them take it away. They have lots of photos and a lot of information to share with you so that you can learn a little bit about what we experienced and what we plan to bring back and implement in our school this year.
So just to start with our vision and mission statement, our vision is setting a positive trajectory for lifetime learning, and our mission statement is Barlow Park Charter School's responsive environment encourages all learners to reach their fullest potential and become well-balanced, compassionate, curious citizens. This side has a link to view a little bit more about our background and foundations of forming Barlow Park Charter School. We wanted to include just in case anyone wanted to see where we started, as we talked about where we ended up now.
So this is Linfield Learning Village, and this is the school that we went to for 3 days, 3 whole days, when we were on our immersion experience. So it was a nice warm welcome. So why did we travel so far to visit Linfield Learning Village? Well, we traveled because as the foundations and guiding principles of Barlow Park Charter School formed, we wanted to find another school with a similar vision to help us grow as another school option for our community. So we really just wanted to find that partner school that we could connect and grow with.
While we were there, we had lots of time, as you can see these pictures, to collaborate with one another as well as the principal and the head of the school. And then we also got to get into some classrooms and talk with the children and the teachers and see how they really incorporated all the different factors that we were seeing. And we have to go back and talk about it then again as a whole group.
So when we were beginning a partnership with Linfield Learning Village, first of all, we finally got to travel there after 3 years of building our school. So we were really excited about that. And then just a little bit about the Linfield Learning Village. They opened in 2019. Their values are the village is based on empathy and trust, and they treat every member of their community with respect, and they tread lightly in their environment. They treat each other with care and kindness. And their vision at Linfield Learning Village is that every member of their community is embraced, valued, and known, and we enable the voice of each member of the community and nurture immigration and imagination and creativity. And then their educational model, a flexible school that is a flexible school environment connected to the individualized learning is an integral part of our new educational model. And then you'll see there a bunch of us on the bus on our way down to the airport. And then also the bottom photo is all of the members who traveled, and then also the members of Linfield Learning Village that helped support us while we were there. So what we noticed while we were there, play was integrated into anything and everything they could. It very specifically targeted their standards, but infused it with play in a way that kids just loved what they were doing. Like, it was almost as if they didn't know that they were taking on learning. They used their building, every inch of it was for like play, or they'd have like little libraries in the hallways, and just different ways to use their building. they were lucky enough to have a college university in that building at one point, so they had massive amounts of room to try different things like having constant flow and movement for the kids. It was noisy, but they were having a lot of fun with their learning. When we were there, we noticed the students had a lot of autonomy over their learning, and the teachers well supported it, and they did a lot of co-teaching to be able to support it. We noticed that every space was a learning space. There was a lot of respect and self-awareness of the students themselves. So they could say their mission statement, sometimes they were saying things that we were like, you know that? Okay, awesome. And they're very empowered and intrigued. So in some of the pictures, you can kind of see us outside. What they have outside is what they call bush school there. So they literally go out into what they call the bush, which is the woods here, and they do learning experiences out there. And then we have some different furniture that they have around and some different learning environments. Any other thoughts?
What we noticed as we walk through the school is that students contribute to the design of their spaces. When I look at our classrooms, they're very decorated. We display our students' work and everything, but they really took it down to a different level to where really when they talk about building their own spaces, the students really design their classroom. There isn't much decoration in their spaces except for what the students contribute to. So you might walk into a classroom and you can see an empty wall, but the students made something that displayed like everybody's birthdays. Or they might have like one of our pictures there in the middle, the students made posters to hang on the wall that talked about the subject that classroom was learning about. The picture on the right, it was artwork from an art class. So they take every space that they have and they just display everything that the students do. I mean, it's really amazing to walk around the vast space that they have and look at all the nooks and crannies that they have. You walk around the corner and there's an art display of students' work. And I mean, it's just beautiful and amazing. And we're not always just talking about little pieces of paper. We're talking about, big pieces of artwork. And it was just really amazing to see. And the picture on the left was in a kindergarten classroom, which I love it. They call them kindies there. But, as kindergarten, they're just starting to learn how to write. So the teachers took their thoughts about, what would they be learning in school, and they made a poster and wrote down the students' thoughts about what they thought about that topic.
There was also a lot of care and concern. On the left there, you'll see a wall that is basically all of the learning targets. So teachers carefully work together in teams, and we're calling them pods, to make sure that standards are covered. And somebody had mentioned you could walk into a classroom and ask a child, what are you learning? They could tell you why they were learning it, how they were learning it. It was, to me, very amazing. And on the right, you see the LLB Daily there. They had jobs that were assigned, such as like a reporter. So you'd see little kindies walking around with an iPad, taking pictures of action, in action, somebody being, in this case, it was creative. And Eric there reported that a cat is stuck in a tree, and there will be a ninja rescuing it. So that is his model of somebody being creative. And that was also, to me, very amazing to see that learning in action.
Can I piggyback off that? Because exactly, I walked up to some kindies and the 5-year-olds came up to me and they said, we are the reporters and it's our job to look for collaboration and creativity. They came up, they said those words to me, they knew exactly what their job was. It was impressive.
While we were there, we had kind of a surprise opportunity that came about. It just so happened that Posse Sahlberg was presenting at the Sydney Opera House during the time that we were there.
We had some quick thinkers that snatched us up some tickets, and we got to see Posse present on play. He has many professional articles, 22 books on play. His big quote there is, "Play is one of the most natural things we do in life. It is also an effective way of learning and making sense of the world around us. Yet children today play less than their parents did when they were young." And while we were watching his presentation, he brought in teachers from a partner school that he had been working with, had different stations set up around this room that we were in, and the kids. We brought in real life kids, and we got to watch them move from station to station as the teachers talked about what they were actually learning through the play that they were doing at that station. We also, he brought in a random music teacher that he's had relations with, and the kids had never seen it before. This music teacher brought out like 12, 15 guitars, handed them to the kids, and did a music lesson. And they were all just so intrigued by the excitement of something new, that they were right there with him the entire time. It was great to see, and we were very fortunate to stumble upon that presentation while we were there. There's a small thing to add to that too. When he brought out the music teacher and after the lesson finished, they went back to playing. And in the arts and crafts area, they immediately all started finding different ways to build their own guitar. And I thought that was just so cool that immediately they were like, I need this piece, I made a guitar. And it was really cool to see.
So after we got back was the time that we needed to start taking all of this learning and deciding what we were gonna do with it. We started with a pie in the sky, no budget, no time restraints, what could we do? And just dumped everything out that we thought we wanted to do, basically, if we had all the money in the world and all the time. And then really started to narrow down because we don't have all the money or all the time. So just narrowing it down to what was feasible for us to achieve in our school. One of the things that we really took to heart was the co-teaching idea. So we spent a lot of time investigating the different types of co-teaching and what we thought would work for us at Barlow Park. And decided that it's something that's going to be a ever-changing, ever-evolving type of situation, even throughout our day, because literacy looks a lot different than math, and so it's always going to be something that's changing no matter what we're doing. One of the things that we really focused on also was coming up with our overarching beliefs and ideals, and we came up with this little graphic on the side where we want really our educators and our students to be playful, creative, and brave as an overall idea of who we are as individuals and who we want our students to be. And then underneath it are just some ideals that we thought would fit together with that overarching.
And then the nitty-gritty work started, and we decided with all of those things that we brain dumped, how are we actually going to put them into work this year? So we, like Rachel said, we looked at the co-teaching models and how they're going to work within our teams. And again, like she said, it's going to be different for each group depending on our clientele and the subject, and maybe even sometimes how the day is just going. But that's one thing that we're jumping into this year is more co-teaching, more co-planning, so that we can get them the information that they need in the best way possible, most efficient, playful way. Creating a schedule where play is integrated throughout the day and not standalone time. Previously, we had a play workshop, and that's where we dedicated a lot of time to our social emotional learning, and it was its own thing, play. But we have since learned that it doesn't need to be its own thing. It should be everywhere, So that is one of our big goals this year, is to get play throughout the day, and there's no standalone, well, there will be times where it's just fun play, but their core subjects will also be infused with play. And then creating space conducive to exploration, play, and learning, rethinking our physical spaces. We have created pods, as we call them, of the kindergarten, the first and the second grade traditional teacher, so that we have a variety of learning styles, learning levels, and in those, our core instruction and play will be happening. With that, as our pods, we're thinking about our physical space as another teacher, because what they have around them really affects their mood, their ability to dig into what they're learning. So, with our pods, we are thinking about where we're having our large group, our small group, where our messy play is going to be, and that might be in one room for our learning, and the messy play goes to somebody else's room. So we're thinking about different ways that we can infuse more movement into our day too, using our entire hallway space as well. And then we're ready to jump. We're ready to go into this year.
And as much work as we have done already, we know that our work is not done. It is to be continued forever. As we continue to follow best research, best practice, and integrate things as we go, and also find what works best for our school. We're going to continue being curious. This is something that we're all very passionate about, so the work is just going to continue as that passion does.
Anybody have any questions for the team?
I have a couple questions. Do you know if Linfield, is that a Finnish model?
I don't know if they are finished, but they do take a lot of theirs. They worked a lot with Posse that we got to see. What was the other school? Starts with a W.
The Waldorf School, is that, no? I know they talked about Regi Emilio philosophy as well.
They're kind of
It is a
hodgepodge of different philosophies creating their own. And they are also growing. They started just a couple years before us. And like they said, they started only with just a small section of the university building that they took over, and it has grown each year. They started with just elementary, and now they have K through 12.
You know, the other comment I had is not just to observe the kids. I think they could guide you in how you develop your key to go to, because just watching them sometimes will give you that next clue of what they need. And you're probably already doing that, but it just seems like that would be a natural part of your research and learning.
As a governance council member, I like to talk to you. Anyways, I just want to say that the learning that I got to see and the team, how they came together, it was really powerful. I mean, they did spend a lot of time. We had 2 people that were remotely coming in from here, so time change and everything, and they really have put their heart and soul into this. And I just want to mention that as a governance council, I've been on board, like I said, since the beginning, and we are going into year 5, and so this is kind of the end of the charter cycle, and just to see the development from starting with just a few teachers now to having 3 sections in each grade level, it's just phenomenal. And I think I'm just so fortunate that I was allowed to go with, because it will bring so much to my university courses that I teach as well. So I thank you for allowing this trip to happen.
Of course, you realize we are going to be waiting for an update at the end of the year.
That's very, very exciting, and I would echo that too, just
pushing yourself to think new and differently with the students in action, from how you were trained to teach to really be able to be responsive to the students to seek those research models to drive instruction in a way that will guide many districts around us as we move forward. But I thank you too for your commitment this summer, for leaving your children and your families behind and giving up that time to take on this big task. And then it didn't end with the trip. You were putting so many days of learning and collaboration time together to be able to launch a year. So I thank you for that as well, for taking that trip and all of that knowledge and really putting it into action this summer. So I really wish you a wonderful spirit, and I can't wait to see, as David said, how this unfolds throughout the year. And look forward to, as you know, we talk about that risk taking. There can be things that work well and things that you make adjustments with, and that's going to be part of the excitement of the year as well. So thank you. Really, really, truly appreciate your dedication.
Thank you. All right, that takes us to new business. We have 7 items of new business. The first one is to consider approval of Crossroads programming change. Is there a motion to put on the floor? Motion. That was one. Discussion.
I mean, just as straightforward as it was proposed. To be closer, to have more options, to have more interaction, and support. Not to mention the savings, that's always about.
Anything else?
It was quite clearly presented last month and it really does make a lot of sense, so.
I will call for the vote.
She's here just to.
Nobody wants to hear from you.
Well done.
Yes. That's a nice way to say it.
My computer is not.
And I think that is just a good reminder that items that are new are on the board meeting twice, and the first time there's the discussion, the second time, then there's the actions taken. So it's a 2-month process.
Does anybody have any idea why?
I don't know, just refreshing during the meeting. Yeah.
You should have, at least I have, buttons, so.
I had buttons.
Refresh it and
I think Lori is the only one I don't have a vote from.
Lori is having problems here, okay. There we go.
And it passes 7 in favor and 2 absent. So we'll move on to consider approval of the annual meeting agenda. Is there a motion to approve the annual meeting agenda as attached?
Second.
Gary? Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote. And again, passes unanimously among those here. Consider approval of insurance renewal for property liability, auto, workers' compensation, and crime. Is there a motion to approve the insurance renewal as presented?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Pretty straightforward? Being no discussion, I will call for the vote.
It's not staying the same, yeah.
So that passes unanimously. Consider approval of fitness lab equipment replacement. I'll take a motion. Anybody?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion?
I was just unclear whether this was replacing equipment or, I think it's expanding the capacity,
It is,
correct?
it's expanding it. So right now, I will tell you, what Mr. Propson is doing is what he is doing, what our ultimate goal is to have every sport in there at least 2 times a week. So I went in there today, I just happened to go in there because I had to talk to him. He had 41 volleyball players in there. And he had to not do what he had planned because we did not have the equipment in there. So we did all body lifting, all right, as opposed to using our weights. So we need those 4 extra stations. It's a double station on this side and a double station on that side, if that makes sense. That way we can do what we want to do to keep our athletes more competitive, I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? I'll call for the vote. Passes unanimously. Consider approval of grade salary increases.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? It's a 6% increase, correct?
It's just straight across the board for everyone then, correct?
Yes.
And the point of this really is to attract more people to deal with the staffing issue that Nancy referred to in her annual report.
Yes, and inflation is 8%, so we're not, it feels like, well, it's a lot, and it is a lot, 6%, but, we're not keeping up with inflation, the way that they measure it, in the state of Wisconsin, and, so, that's what we gave the other staff members.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? And you may vote. Passes unanimously. And consider approval of grade director position.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion?
I had kind of a concern more about the qualifications. The job description really requires quite a high skill level. There's a lot to the job. I'd be concerned about getting, I guess, the pool of applicants with just a high school diploma, not just a high school, just based on my experience. I think that an associate's degree or college level would draw a different population, or even to put in there some kind of work experience, because this is, from what I understand, this is going to be leading a lot of people. And so I just think the qualifications call for a little bit more education or supervisory training or something. Yeah.
But couldn't you have, I mean, I'm kind of relying on the hiring people to pick someone who has that experience. Couldn't you have that experience with only a high school diploma?
I think so. I think I'd like to see it, I guess. I guess it does have it in the experience. I'm just saying it based on my hiring.
Right. I'm not sure I'm the person who should be answering that question. Who's gonna be hiring
And I think
Brave?
Yeah, we can work all of it. And as the memo said, we have a person that is doing this job currently, and because we have 2 new site coordinators, we want this person to specifically work with both. So we really are calling out the description, but we have a person that will be in that. But I think.
Who we're happy with.
Who we're happy with, who has years of experience in our program and is doing this job currently. But we haven't had a job description for that particular part of the role, so we're really kind of catching up with that part. But I think, you know, as positions and staff turnover, I think we're focused on taking that, and we want to consider those qualifications, that would be the right time to look at it and maybe make some adjustments. Because there's certainly a skill set that, if the experience isn't there, that degree and background would certainly balance that out, so it's a good point.
Okay. Yes, I didn't pick that up. That it was.
We have the 2 site coordinators already.
We're in the
We're working
process
on that.
of putting them in place.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, we are encouraging students who choose not to go into college level education and choosing to go into the workforce that they grow in their career area and would be able to manage this type of responsibility, so.
And then we would look for things like apprenticeships and.
Any other concerns or questions? Seeing none? Your vote. Passes unanimously. And last new business, consider approval of part-time art teacher position. Would like to make a motion to put it on the floor.
Oh, I second.
Thank you, Larry.
I second.
Paul? Any comments or questions about this one? So just a summary, as I remember it and understood it, we have greater uptake, more students, and it makes more sense to hire a person to do it part-time than to pay overload.
And stretch our current staff. It doesn't mean we'll fill a position, but at least to.
So now we have the opportunity to attempt to, and if we can't find somebody, then we have a backup plan to use the current overload and another overload.
And often staff have an expert company to know that we're not looking to have that overload situation be on a permanent basis. So this is that kind of partnership. In the past, we did have 2 part-time art teachers that allow us to be just over 100% of our FTE. And then we found this full-time art position as sections went down a little bit, and now that we added additional section, we don't use for that section. So it just, again, gives us that opportunity to consider. But should anyone be watching this and be using our teacher, know that the position's been.
Any other comments or questions? Call for the vote. And the position is approved. Approval to hire professional staff. This is the one that was pulled. Yeah, the first one's been pulled, so she took a different job. So we'll move on. The second one is to update the middle school behavior interventionist position. So a motion to approve. That's information, item, I'm sorry. No
Yeah, we
motion.
don't have to, because we're not putting someone in a full-time contract.
Right.
But utilizing the role that you met to fill in the hours that she's willing to.
Right.
But we still want to keep that position open in the event we could find a full-time person.
Okay.
It was just an odd personnel section that we had you look at.
All right, so with the consent agenda, does anybody want to remove an item from the consent agenda? No. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So
Thank you, Denise. Bill? And we may vote. Okay. There it is. Sorry. It's passed unanimously. All right, possible upcoming action items. So we have received from the city, they would like to have right of first refusal on the property we own north of the city. Any questions for anybody about it? Anything you want to talk about?
And then Adam Sontag is here from the city if we have questions. He's our city administrator, if there's any questions.
There's 22 acres that they can, the city considers phase one that's currently being farmed north of Murray Park. And the city is trying to expand property values and especially to create new homes so families move here. And their interests are kind of aligned with ours because we need new families and growth so that our organization is healthy. And so all they're asking for is the right to match an offer. If somebody came to us and said, hey, we want to purchase this land, please give us the right to match it first before you sell it to someone else. And so our opinion is that their interests are aligned with ours better than maybe some private buyers would be, so it seemed like a fair thought.
But currently, we don't have the property up for sale, we don't anticipate any offers coming in, but it's certainly an opportunity for the city to be aware should something come in.
Anybody have any questions for Jonah or Adam? We are not taking action on this moment, next month.
It makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay. Thank you. The moment we have no questions, you can think about questions. We'll move on to the legislative updates.
Yeah, and really, there's no significant legislative update, but I did just want to, because especially with some new board members, remind you that we do have this the Wisconsin State Education Convention that is held in Milwaukee every year in January. More information will come out a little bit later, but kind of a save the date if it's something that you're interested in. It's January 17th, 18th, and 19th, and so they haven't even opened up registration and those kind of things yet, which is something to be thinking about as you plan that, if that's something that might be of interest to you.
The hotel block is open.
That's the hotel one.
And I have booked rooms, we have 5 rooms.
Reserved right now.
Double Tree Hilton.
Is that the one where the convention is, or is it?
It's right next.
Right next door to it. One that has the skywalk is shut down for some renovations that are happening.
So we'll just kind of wait and see what the weather's like as soon as there is a first walk.
Are we staying at the Double Tree?
Yes.
That's usually where we stay.
Okay.
And I have secured 5 rooms.
All right, thank you. So, business-related reports. First one is the 22-23 general fund budget report. Any comments, questions from the board members, or is there anything, Jonah, that we should have paid attention to?
No. It's, we ended the year well, and we, basically our budget was within 2% of what the board had approved, so it was probably as close as it's ever been. And so I just think it went as planned. I think the budget went as planned. That's the best way to say it, so.
And the food service fund budget report.
The only thing I'd say about this one is things sort of went as planned. But we, we keep adding to fund balance. It's not that we're doing anything ourselves. The federal reimbursement rates are just incredibly high. They have been for the past 3 years. And it's allowed us to add to fund balance, which has allowed us to offer free breakfast to kids. So it's done good things for us. But we added a little bit to fund balance again this year. We need to, next year, at the request of the UTI, spend down some of it. The board approved $96,000 in equipment purchases. Some of that just hasn't been done yet. The timing with vendors is really delayed. And so anyways, we need to spend down our fund balance. We will be doing it as federal reimbursement rates go down next year. They're actually going backwards instead of usually every year the federal reimbursements go up. And so that'll take care of things over time, and we're offering free breakfast again. So it's all positive things. It's just this didn't go exactly as planned because we thought we were going to spend more than we did.
Is it just that stuff isn't available right now because of supply chain issues or something, or we just made the decision not to buy something?
No. It's more like, well, there's lots of moving pieces. One moving piece is that some of the equipment that we had approved, we got a grant to get it for free. So there's so many moving pieces.
It's all good stuff,
And
but, in a normal family budget, this would be a celebration, but we
Yes.
can't have that big of a savings account in this fund, so that's where we're doing the free breakfast, and we'll look to update equipment, because we anticipate that reimbursement will go down and it will correct itself.
Thank you.
Oh, you don't turn a grant away, you get a grant for a baby.
Exactly.
All right. That takes us, we're done with the open session. We will move into executive session. If there is a vote to do so, could I have a motion?